Welcome, Craig Zernheld.
Hello, Bill. It's good to see you.
How did you get started in music?
It's an easy story. It was the spring of 1965. I was 5 years old. Mom dressed me up in this little black suit, probably St. Thomas More issue at the time, but put a coat on me, and she dressed up in her white gloves and the dress and probably pearls. It was 1965. Took me downtown, down to 4th Street, I think the corner of 4th and Guthrie. I believe it was a Walgreens. And they had a soda jerk. And we sat down at the table, had my first cherry Coke there, as a matter of fact. It was a beautiful sunny day. I remember it like it was yesterday. And after we ate, we might have had fries, I'm not sure. We walked 3 or 4 blocks to the Rialto Theater and walked in this place, and it was grand. I was only 5, but it took my breath away. The big white marble staircase, crystal chandeliers. I'd never been to any place like that before in my life. Walked up the staircase into the balcony, and I think we were in the front row. The curtains opened, red velvet. I remember it so well. And the Sound of Music came on. So we saw that. I think it premiered in Louisville in the spring of '65. And for the next 2.5 hours, I was glued. I was fixated on the screen. And it enveloped me. The music was wonderful, the harmonies. After it was over, I just remember walking out, and I might have even said this to my mom at the time, but I know I said to myself, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to sing. And the rest is, I guess, history.
Your first band was?
Oh gosh, well, shortly after my debut as Santa Claus in 1st grade at the seasoned age of 6 years old. I did music in junior high school and sang chamber music, madrigals in high school. Did some summer stock a little bit, did King's Dominion, which is a duplicate park of what Kings Island is or was, one summer. Came back in 1980, I believe, and I wanted to do something musically, so a friend of mine called me and said, hey, you want to audition for a band? I said, sure, that'd be great. I'd love to do that. I always wanted to sing in a band. I went to UK on a music scholarship for opera, but I didn't want to sing opera. So I wanted to sing in a band. And so I auditioned for a group called The Mystics in 1980 and was with them through 1995, 96, 15 years. Great group, even better group of people. So that was my first and only band other than the Monarchs. I took about 1.5 years off, and a buddy of mine that played with us in the Mystics, John Zender, called me and asked if I would like to audition for the Monarchs. And of course, we'd crossed paths over the years, similar music. And I said, sure. So drove over to southern Indiana, Mom's Music, walked in the door, all ready to sing, thinking, hey, I can do this, all right. And there's this group of 9 people maybe that were just staring at me, handed me a mic and said, sing. So I said, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? And I'm shaking inside. I was so nervous. But it went off well, and they called me that evening and said, congratulations, you're part of a group that's been around Louisville since 1961. So, and again, here I am.
So you're a little bit younger than the rest of the Monarchs. Do you feel like you fit with them in the group?
Well, as the years go by, the closer we get in age. I turned 60 this year, September 2020. As long as the band's been around, no, I don't. I think nobody in this group is old by any means. You would never look up there and say, look at these old guys playing. They've got so much energy. And I think it's the music and being able to do what they've done for so many years. Keeps them young. It's ageless. They're ageless, just like the music.
Do you identify with that music?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I go back to my parents. I remember I was probably 5 years old. This should have been my first story. In the utility room, we lived over by Iroquois Park, and Mom and Dad loved to listen to music. And I remember one time I looked in the kitchen, and they're dancing, and it's the Beatles playing "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and it's amazing that even at 5 years old, I heard that song and I was like, I didn't say this is going to be a hit, but I loved it. And it was the harmonies. Again, it comes down to what the Monarchs have always been about, and it's the music and the harmonies.
So you're one of two lead singers that the Monarchs have, and others sing harmony along with you. You're also the front man for the Monarchs. How do you feel about that? And what do you feel your job is as front man?
My job is to make the other guys as entertaining as possible so I don't have to. We play off of each other. Everybody plays a role. I know you say, well, you're the front man. Well, so is David. So is Leon. So is Dusty. Jeff, Paul, Greg, we all are frontmen for this group. I'm the one that gets to talk between songs, so if that makes me a frontman, so be it. I'm very comfortable. I'm nowhere more comfortable than I am in front of a bunch of people that enjoy the type of music we play.
So the Monarchs started out as a dance band, and fairly recently they transitioned into more of a show band. What was that transition like? You were there for it.
I remember Leon telling us before a gig, pretty sure it was at the Executive Inn before it became Crown Plaza. He said, "Hey guys, we're gonna do a show at Derby Dinner." I'm like, "Oh, okay, great, but isn't that round? Won't the people behind us have trouble dancing?" He said, no, it's not a dance. It's a 2-hour show. And all of us looked at him like deer in headlights. We thought, we're not a show band. We cannot do this. Nobody said it at the time, but after it sunk in and we started putting it together, I remember the first time on stage that we played at Derby Dinner, we got up there and it was like, what are we doing up here? What are we going to do for 2 hours? And not a soul's going to get up and cut the rug. But as we got into it just blossomed. And I think it's become beyond comfortable. It's something that we really, really enjoy doing and have excelled at. I can't tell you why, but we still love people to get up and dance. That's our forte.
So over the years, what would you say was the best job you worked and the worst job you had to work in the band?
Well, best is, I guess, a relative term. The most exciting would have been Kentucky State Fair, when we opened for Beach Boys, Al Jardine, I believe. I couldn't tell you how many people were in the crowd, but it was on both sides of my peripheral. And boy, that just takes you to another level. If you didn't have energy before you got on stage, you had plenty of it after the first song. Even the worst gig was probably a good one. If I had to say one, the crowd was great, but the weather was probably 15 degrees. We were playing Light Up Louisville, and Santa Claus comes through, and we're there with I think Heather Renee French and cast of thousands that were just chilled to the bone. The guitar kept going out of tune. The mic stuck to my hand. It froze. So it wasn't a bad gig, but it certainly wasn't the best.
So the Monarchs are getting ready to celebrate their 60th anniversary. What would you like to tell the fans if you could say something to them?
I think that most people that have been blessed to be able to do what I do, and the guys in the band, and really anybody musically, artistically, whatever their craft is, probably gets in it initially because you're young, a little selfish. It's a look at me thing. I was getting to do what I wanted to do. It was exciting. As the years went on, I'd be on stage in the middle of a song, and while I'm singing, these thoughts are going through my head. Wow, look what I get to do. This is great. These people are loving it. I'm enjoying it. And then probably in the last 5 to 10 years, it morphed into what it really is. And it's the appreciation of the music by the fans. There's no better feeling than when someone comes up to you after a gig or even after a song and they say, we want to thank you so much. You took us back 50 years to their first kiss, their first dance, to their first. It's like musical time travel. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to take you there.
So after 22 years with the Monarchs, do people stop you in the grocery store or on the street and recognize you as a Monarch?
It's humbling. I get recognized as Butch Kaufman a lot, or Butch's son. No offense, Butch. Yeah, it happens. It's nice to enjoy that little bit of celebrity, but at the same time, you know, I've walked up to a couple of people that I've seen in crowds before and said, I recognize you. You were in the crowd when we played the other day. You're with the Monarchs fans. You know, it goes both ways. Yeah, it's nice and it's humbling. And again, it just confirms it's not me, it's not the band, it's the music and the people that appreciate it. And we appreciate you.
Are you looking forward to 2021?
Yes.
Optimistically?
I'm looking forward to 2021. I am. I'm looking forward to 2022. Maybe 2031. We'd be celebrating our 70th anniversary. So I plan on being around for a long time. And I'd love to see all the same guys in the group 10 years from now.
What you do, it's so hard. Can't stand but it's so hard. Can't stand but wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel